Hey everybody, hope you're having a good day. I'm having a great day. The sun is shining in the Pacific Northwest, but it is cold outside. So I thought I'd make a video about returns. Everybody frowns upon them, but it's a big part. Try to make it a small part, but it is a part of reselling. And they can be positive, but I wanted to share some of the examples I've had here recently with returns and customers contact me about items they received. But first should say that I don't do free returns. I do 30-day returns. The buyer pays for the shipping back to me. And I haven't had any problems with that. I know free shipping would do better on your seller rating, but I don't get that many returns anymore. I think in part because I have actually taken better photos. Early on, I used to get returns not as described, but I've learned from those lessons. And so when I take my pictures, I make sure I take good pictures of the item, pictures of the size tag, the material tag, and any picture that shows any flaw in them. And then I will put that also in the description. So I can't remember the last time I got a return on an item not as described. Most of my items that get returned are because they either didn't like the item, it was bought by mistake, or it didn't fit. And so these are some of the ones that I had recently, and I wanted to share them with you. So this first one was an item that on eBay where the lady had purchased it's a Boston Traders. It is a cable knit, full zip, Sherpa lined cardigan sweater is what I called it. And she bought it for $14 plus $10 shipping. I'm kind of looking at my notes. And she bought it on November 7th. She had received the item, and I would assume that she tried it on, and she opened a case to have the item returned. And I don't remember the exact reason why. Either she bought it by mistake, she didn't like it, or it didn't fit. But in her comment, she had wrote that it was as described, it was very good quality, it just was too heavy. And this was a very heavy item. It was knit, heavy cable knit, and it had Sherpa lining. So this thing was very warm, great for the wintertime. But she said it was just too heavy. So go ahead and return it. And so when they open a case, I usually just let it go, let it do its course, because sometimes the customer won't return it. But this customer did return it. I received it on November 17th, and I looked it over, and I gave her a refund that day and proceeded on. And come to find out, she had given me very positive feedback, saying that it was a great seller, everything was as described, it just was too heavy. She put it in there. But I got positive feedback from that, so I was happy with that. But when I received the item back and I gave her the refund, I didn't have eBay relist it. I just went ahead and took that, that mark off that box because I was going to relist it myself. And I didn't relist it. I actually put sell similar to give it a whole new item number back onto eBay. And then I cross-posted it back to Mercari and then back to Poshmark. And within 2 days, because I gave her the refund on the 17th, on the 19th, it sold on Mercari, and it sold for $15.30 plus shipping. So it actually sold for more. So this was a good thing. I got the item back. It was in good condition, and I sold it within 2 days for more money. So that was a win-win. And so the next item that I had, this wasn't such a win-win, but I take it as one because I got some positive feedback on it. So sometimes people will receive their item, but they won't open a case. They'll actually contact the buyer first, which I always prefer they contact me first. And so this lady had bought a wool hat, a beanie, and it had a hole in it. She took a picture. I couldn't believe it had a hole because when I pulled it over the mannequin's head to take photos of it, I didn't see the hole. I don't know where the hole came from, but regardless, there was a hole on this hat. And so she had bought it for $8.50 with $4.99 shipping. And so I went ahead, I apologized profusely, said I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. And then I said I will definitely refund you for your whole purchase amount, including the shipping. She was very happy about that, and she gave me a really nice feedback. So I didn't have to give a refund too much money, but I also gained a good positive feedback, and hopefully she'll buy something else from my store. So that was one thing I wanted to bring up, that not all refunds is just where you lose out on the item. You have the positive feedback that will go into your business. The next item is an item that somebody tried to get a refund on, but not successful. This is one of the things I like about Poshmark. So Poshmark, on their site, they don't do returns for items that don't fit. Now, if it's not as described, they will, I guess they will dispute it or whatever, and then I could possibly have to refund them their money. But on items that don't fit, they don't do refunds. They want you to reposh it, resell it in their terms. So this gentleman, and this was funny because this gentleman had contacted me about this item, and it was a Dakine hooded knit jacket, extra large. It was a very nice jacket. But he had contacted me and asked me several questions about this item, and he was telling me he was a first-time buyer. He's new to the platform. He wasn't sure how everything worked, about giving offers and that type of thing. So we had gone back and forth, had a good rapport, but he had bought the item. And then when he got the item, received the item, he had opened a case that he said the item didn't work as described. And I had made a video about this because work as described, it's a coat. I didn't know. I thought maybe the zipper broke. Maybe the zipper doesn't work, because it doesn't work. So he went ahead and opened the case, and they reviewed it, and then Poshmark gives the buyer a chance to respond or put in their 2 bits in the comments. So I put in, because he had said that the item was an extra large. He wears an extra large, but this felt more like a 2X large. And so I had responded that that it may not have fit you, but I wouldn't say it doesn't work as it's supposed to. It's a jacket. And so the Poshmark asked for additional pictures from the buyer. And so I waited, and sure enough, the buyer, or the Poshmark, saw the pictures, and I'm not sure what pictures he would show of it not working. And Poshmark had messaged me that that they sided with me, and that they were sorry for the inconvenience, and they would release my funds to my account, which I was very happy. And this gentleman had messaged me that he was very sorry for, going through this, but he's new to the site. He didn't know how it worked, and he was just very nice. And it turned out to be very positive. Nothing too bad, but that's what I like about Poshmark. Poshmark doesn't do refunds on items that don't fit. Because in my pictures, like I said before, I put measurements. I have tons of photos. So for it to be anything but it doesn't fit, that's not going to work on Poshmark, which I'm happy for. So the other item on Poshmark that I wanted to share with you was this has happened on eBay too. I have never had anything like this happen on Mercari, but somebody had, Poshmark sends out, I didn't get any message from the buyer. It was all from Poshmark. So I had sold a Nike Heritage hat, and I got a message from Poshmark as a reminder to ship the item. And so I looked back and I looked at my records, and I had shipped that. I had shipped that the day it was purchased, on November 10th. And so I was like, what's going on? And so I messaged the buyer that I'm not sure what's going on. I shipped the item on November 10th. Sorry for the inconvenience. And then I went on to Poshmark. And Poshmark, you don't actually talk to someone. You have to email them. And I've had great response with Poshmark. They've been very fast at getting back to me. And so I had messaged them that I'm not sure what to do on this. I had sold the hat on November 10th and I mailed it on November 10th, but it doesn't show any tracking. I'm not sure where it went, and they were very nice about this. And so I got a message back from them that they reviewed the account, and so they said that things do get lost in the mail. And so I guess looking at my past history that I ship quick, I ship within a day. I had never had this happen before. So they went ahead and refunded the buyer because they're out, and they refunded, they gave me, made sure and released my funds to me because they hold on to the funds until the customer receives it. So they released the funds to me because of this incident, because of it getting lost in the mail, so to say. And this has also happened on eBay. That'll happen if you put in a request and they didn't get it. So that was great. So the customer got the money, I got the money, and it's good for communication. So if you make sure you communicate with the buyer and you also communicate with the platform, you can get results that way. And the next item is a Dekind wallet. So a customer had reached out to me that they haven't received the item, and they were going to open an item not received on, I believe it was eBay. And so I messaged them back immediately saying, with a screenshot of the tracking showing it was delivered. It was delivered to them. But they said they couldn't find it. And so I had tried to message eBay, but I couldn't get into them I hate doing it on their site of doing the typing chat, texting the messages. I like to actually talk to someone. So I went ahead and just messaged them that I had already sent the item, that I had already done it. And then I went into the case that eBay opened, that the buyer had opened the case, and it tells you details and it tells you things that you can do. And so I checked, one was to message the buyer, which I did. And I said that the item shows delivered. You might want to check with your post office, which has happened before where a customer said they didn't get the item. And I said, you might want to check with your post office, and the post office actually had their item. But I haven't heard back from them, but I have received the funds. The funds have already been released to me, and I haven't seen a return or a refund for this person. So it's another one lost in the mail. I'm not sure if the customer will get their money because it already shows the item was delivered. And so that was a unique item, a unique situation. And then I think that's all that I have, because those are items, and these are returns or things that get lost in the mail that are going to be frequent right now with the holidays coming up. So, but make sure you respond quickly to your buyers. Make sure when they send you messages that you respond quickly. And if you can't resolve it between you two, then make sure you go to the platform itself, because there's some great people working and helping you out, especially on Poshmark and eBay. I haven't had any problems with Mercari, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but I'm happy with that. And so I hope that helps some of you see, what can happen out of these returns and customers' requests, that they can be positive if you just solve them with communications. And also, if you take some great pictures underneath your lights, make sure the lighting's really bright, and you take good photos and you mark down every item or every spot or stain or flaw that's in the material and get those listed and into your descriptions. That helps a lot when you're trying to, dispute a case. So I hope that helps you out, and I hope you find that useful, and I'll see you next time.